Everybody, welcome back. I'm Nancy Grace, and we are taking you live in the past hours. Justin Bieber in a court of law. Out to the lines, Catherine, what's your question?
I was pretty much having a good comment. And by the way, Nancy Grace, you are an awesome woman. Keep up the great job.
I'm going to try, Catherine.
My thing is this. If it was a Hispanic person or a Latino person, they'd be deported immediately. So why won't they do that for the Beebster? I mean, isn't it the same thing?
Unleash the lawyers, Kimberly Priest Johnson, Dallas, Brian Claypool, L.A. First to you, Claypool. She's got a point. If this were someone else, they'd be deported.
Well, let's not rush to judgment too quick, Nancy. You've got to have two things to deport.
What are you talking about, rush to judgment? He already admitted that he'd been smoking weed all day.
Nancy, you got to make a New Year's resolution to not burn the Constitution. You have to be convicted of a crime
Mr.
before you
Claypool,
can be deported.
Let me advise you.
He has to have two convictions.
You can cut his mic. That not only did I practice in felony courts of law, but argue to appellate courts and received a specialized degree in specifically constitutional law. So please do not tell me what to do with the Constitution. Although I'll be happy to tell you what you can do with the Constitution. Obviously, any type of deportation would require appropriate hearings. That goes without saying. Now, you can pick up there, Claypool.
See? Thanks, Nancy. Your flowers are in the mail. You need two convictions that involve moral turpitude to try to deport Justin Bieber. So he hasn't been convicted of anything yet, Nancy, number one. Number two, even if there is a conviction, you have to show it involved moral turpitude. And arguably, drag racing and resisting arrest don't involve moral turpitude. He's got to worry more about the DUI than anything. If I'm his lawyer, I'm going to fight the DUI on the grounds that it's a highly subjective test. This sobriety test is highly subjective, Nancy, and resisting arrest is a catch-all.
To Kimberly Priest Johnson, weigh in, Kimberly.
Well, the offenses he's been charged with, they're not causes for deportation. Now, yes, he does need to be careful because he gets several of these. You know, immigration and customs can come in and look at him, and it's my understanding that there's already a petition underway to have him deported. So he does need to be careful. But at this point, no one would be deported even if they were convicted on this particular offense.
Let me advise both of you that deportation is not based solely on a crime of moral turpitude. A felony will get you deported. So I advise you, Mr. Claypool,
it has to be an
aggravated
aggravated felony, Nancy. It has to be an aggravated felony, and none of those apply here.
Brian, we don't know what the charges are going to be, but I can tell you this. Fighting with a police officer can easily be considered as a felony. So we'll see what unfolds. I don't think there's going to be a felony. I agree with you on that. Deportation is another matter. Everybody, when we come back, seeing is believing.